Hello everyone. Through this video, we'll discuss the importance of exception handling in Java. So before going to the depth of the subject, first of all, we should know what is exception is all about. So as a human being, we commit many errors. Similarly, for a programmer or as a software engineer, may also commit several number of errors while designing the project or developing the project. Okay. So these errors are actually known as bugs, and the process of removing all these bugs are known as debugging. Okay, so this is one of the most important tasks for the programmer to debug the codes. Okay, now if you relate to the concept of exception in Java, so exception is nothing but many people say it's an error. Okay. So we will see how many types of errors can be generated from the Java program. Okay. So as per our use, errors can be generated during compilation time. Okay. How? So as a programmer, whenever I'll write program, okay. So suppose I am writing one print statement. Clear? But I have not given the semicolon. Okay. So let me save the file. Let's go to the command prompt and compile the code. So instantly we are getting one error message, error semicolon expected. Clear? So this is the kind of error we are getting at compilation time. If I'll write down the same thing to experience what kind of errors can be generated during execution time. Okay. So I'm giving semicolon here, but I am not writing string args inside the main method. Okay. Clear the screen. I can check. I am not getting any kind of error during the compilation time. But while executing the program, I'm getting main method not found in this class. Please define the method. So some error message is coming during the execution time. Okay. Now let's know another type of error which can be generated by the programmer. So this error actually we are targeting for logical error. So we are having two values 20, 40, say I want to add these two values, want to store in the third result, but I have written wrongly. I have given the subtraction symbol. Okay, so I am not getting any kind of error during the compilation time. So while executing, I am getting result of addition is 20. But here I was expecting what? 60. But why I am getting 20? Because the programmer has given some kind of error, or it has conducted or committed some kind of error during the program writing. So with respect to logic. Okay. So normally in Java, we will face three different types of errors. One, during the compilation error. Two, during the execution error. Third, the execution will be done, but we will get some wrong result due to wrong logic power. Okay. So whenever you are discussing about exception, yeah, so exception is nothing but these are the errors which generated during the execution time. Okay, so now the question will come, so can't we call the compilation error as exception? No, you cannot call the compile time errors as exceptions. Okay, now let's discuss one by one point that what actually exception is all about. Okay, so suppose as a programmer you are given a project, okay, and you have written the program. In student life we normally used to write 10 to 20 lines of code, and whenever any kind of compilation error or execution error or any logical error will come, we'll check the 20 lines of code and we'll find out the solution. Because of this maybe the problem has occurred. Okay, now suppose as a software engineer you are given a project and you have written 10,000 lines of code. Okay, after writing 10,000 lines of code, whenever you are executing, you are getting one runtime error. That means during execution, some error is generated. If the error will come at compilation time, you will get the line number and the details about the error. So obviously you will go to the exact line number and you will modify the code and you will again compile. That is easy to handle, compile time error. But if the error is generated during execution time or runtime, then you will never get the idea where the problem has occurred. Okay, so in the total 10,000 lines of code, suppose at any instant of time the runtime error has generated, so instantly the program will terminate. Okay, and you have not expected the end of the execution of the program, but abnormally the program will be terminated. What will happen? The rest of the program is not going to be executed. Clear? Okay, so if you are using Ubuntu, maybe you have seen this kind of error, segmentation fault. Okay, so during the execution of program, abnormally one runtime error will be generated, segmentation fault, and your program will terminate. You are not allowed to continue with the normal flow of the execution of the program. Okay, so exception is nothing but it's an abnormal situation during program execution. So program is running, you are giving the input, output is also coming sequentially. At one instant of time you have experienced that the program has been terminated abnormally. Okay, so what actually in brief, it interrupts the normal flow of the program. So whenever exception is generated, the normal flow of the program is interrupted. Okay, and basically it is an object thrown at runtime, because everything in Java is a class. So exception is considered as a class in also Java. So whenever exception is generated, we are telling that means one object will be thrown at runtime, as we are experiencing the error during the runtime. Okay, Now let's discuss why actually exception is generated. Okay, so we have seen three different types of errors generated in Java. So there may be a chance that we are expecting one integer value, but we are providing character value. So in Java, the type checking is strict. So if you are giving any invalid input, then exception will be generated. Okay. Suppose you are opening one file because you want to do some operation in that file and the file is unavailable. So instantly one exception will be generated, means the file whatever you are searching is not available. Okay. Some problem may occur during communication due to network connection loss. Okay. So that is also beyond the control of the user, but this is also kind of exception. Done. Whenever during execution, JVM is unable to allocate memory because JVM has run out of memory. Memory is not available sufficiently. Then also the abnormal termination will occur. But these kind of problems are beyond the user's capacity. Okay. And the most important is it may sometimes occur due to user error or error by the programmer. Okay, so that means either during execution time or during because of logical power the exception is generated. Yeah, so overall different kinds of situations are there where exceptions will be generated. Okay, so we'll see how many types of exceptions are there. So basically there are two different types of exceptions are available. One is your checked exception, another is your unchecked exception. Okay, so if you'll ask what is exception is all about, so you can say exception is nothing but it is an event that interrupts the normal flow of the program. Okay, and it is an object which is thrown at the execution time. Clear? And what happens whenever the exception is generated? The exception, whenever exception is generated, the program terminates abnormally. Okay, now what are the situations where the program will terminate abnormally? Now either it will terminate during compilation time or it will be terminated during execution time. Okay, so the categorization has been done or the name has been given. So the errors or the exceptions which are generated during the compilation time are known as checked exceptions. The exceptions which are generated during the execution time or runtime are known as unchecked exceptions. Okay, so checked exceptions are generated during compilation time. So instantly you'll go to the line number or the type of error will be mentioned, so you can handle it. Unchecked exceptions are difficult to handle because those are generated during the execution time. Okay, so we'll see the hierarchy of exception in Java. So the parent class of every exception or error is known as your throwable. Okay, so the throwable class is the parent class of all exceptions or all kinds of errors. Okay, so exception and error are the child classes of throwable class. Then now somebody will ask you what is throwable. So throwable is actually a class that represents all errors and exceptions with which may occur in Java. Okay, now we'll come to exception class. Okay, so someone will ask you what is exception class. Now exception is the super class of all exceptions in Java. It may be checked exception or it may be unchecked exception. Clear? Now one more question will come, what is the difference between exception and error? Okay, so we can say that an exception is an error which may be handled. Okay, that means when an exception happens, the programmer can do something to avoid any harm, but an error is an error. Okay, an error is an error which cannot be handled. It happens and the programmer cannot do anything, because if the system goes out of memory, you can't do anything. If machine error will occur, you can't do anything. stack overflow error will come. You don't do anything. Okay, so that means all these errors are also considered as unchecked exception. Clear? Because those will happen during the execution time. But checked exception are generated during the compilation time. Okay, so you can see that all the classes which are inheriting the exception class except the runtime exceptions are known as your compile time exception. Okay, or that is known as your checked exception. All the classes which are inheriting the runtime exception, okay, then are known as your unchecked exception. Clear? So if we'll differentiate between checked exception and unchecked exception, the classes that extend throwable class, okay, except runtime exceptions are known as your checked exception. All these classes. But whenever you are telling unchecked exception, the classes that extend runtime exception are known as unchecked exception. Okay, and for error, it is irrecoverable because number of situations will come where it goes beyond the control of the user. Okay, so this hierarchy shows the difference between checked exception and unchecked exception. So in brief, checked exceptions are generated during the compilation time. Unchecked exceptions are generated during execution time. Okay. Now you will see multiple situations are there where normally exception occurs. Okay. So for example, arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception means what? Now we are doing some arithmetic operations and the program terminates abnormally. Like we are providing the denominator value as 0. Okay. So if any value, the numerator is non-zero, but the denominator is 0, then you may get arithmetic exception. Okay. We'll see through the example. So we'll see the situation where arithmetic exception is generated in Java. Okay. So here I am writing result equal to 50 divided by 10. Okay. 50 divided by 10. I am printing the value. So let's save the file. And compile it. Okay. So as per our discussion, the error or the exception will not be generated during compilation time. While executing, we are also getting the value. The result is 5 by 50 divided by 10. So if I am making the denominator as 0, okay, wrongly I have made the denominator as 0. Compilation time we are not getting any error, but during execution time, instantly it is showing that arithmetic exception divided by 0. Okay, so instantly exception has been generated. Clear? Okay, so this is a normal situation or generic situation where user normally write the program and arithmetic exception will generate it, which is because of divide by 0. Okay, so the denominator, if you are providing 0, then exception is generated. Now the question is, why exception is generated? Because we know that in mathematics something divided by 0, you will get infinite value. But in data type, not a single data type is available. Whatever you have discussed in the data type video, not a single data type is available which is supporting infinite value. Okay, there must be some range or specific range for a particular data type. But here, if you are dividing any value by 0, then you are getting infinite as a value, and infinite is not supported by any of the data type in Java. So that's why arithmetic exception is generated. Clear? Okay. So now coming to the next one, null pointer exception. What is null pointer exception? So in string, you are providing the null value, means nothing is present in string, but you are trying to print the length of the string. Okay. So let's check. So string str equal to, let me give you first value. Okay. Okay. Compiled successfully. So I'm getting the length of the string is 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if instead of value, I am putting null here. Clear? So nothing is present in my string. Compiled. Now during execution, you see null pointer exception is generated. Okay. So that means if you are not allocating any value to any of the variable or string value, and you are finding the length of that string, then null pointer exception will be generated. Clear? Now next one is number format exception. Means what? Now by using this particular methodology, integer.parseInt, okay, we will discuss in details regarding integer.parseInt in wrapper class. But for the time you understand, to convert string to integer, we need integer.parseInt method. Okay, so integer is the class, parseInt is the method which is used to convert string to integer value. Okay, now let's see that why this error is generated. So here I am writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, integer value equal to integer dot parseInt. Okay, so one number is present within double quote. So this is a string value in Java. We are storing in the str variable and converting integer dot parseInt means converting the string into integer and displaying the value. Then see I am getting the same value because if you are providing number within double quote to string, it will be treated as string. but that number you can convert to integer by using this particular format. Okay, but if you'll assume that I can convert any string to integer, then I'll commit mistake over there. See, number format exception for input, this one. That means the words or alphabetical words cannot be converted to integer. It can be converted, but integer value can be converted to integer. So in the string value which contains integer, that number you can convert to integer, but string, the words in English alphabet, cannot be converted directly to integer. Otherwise, number format exception will be generated. Okay. Now coming to the next one, array index out of bounds exception. Clear? So that means while declaring the array, you are providing one boundary that this is the maximum size you can access. If you are going beyond that, then the exception will be generated. Okay. So suppose float array equal to new float 5. Okay. So that means 5 blocks are allocated. I am accessing float 1 equal to 25.5 f. Clear? Okay. Oh, sorry. This is error. Okay. Error of 1 I am printing. So compile it. Then I am getting the value. Okay. But wrongly, if I have given some index position which is beyond the total memory allocation, then I may face problem. But not during the compilation time, but during the execution time. I'll get array index out of bounds exception because index 10 is out of boundary for length 5. Clear? So because of this exception handling mechanism or the kind of exception it will show in Java, now the robust mechanism is used for Java. So Java is actually known as robust because it will show you different kinds of exceptions what can be generated. Okay. So this is for the limited number of exceptions we have seen, that where actually the situations is there where the user or programmer commit several simple mistakes, and during execution the abnormal termination will occur. Okay. So in the further video we'll see how to handle this kind of exceptions. So thank you everyone.